February 1959, 9 experienced hikers set off into the Ural Mountains of Russia. They were students, athletes, some of the most skilled mountaineers in the country. They never came back. When rescue teams finally found their camp weeks later, what they discovered made absolutely no sense. The tent had been ripped open from the inside. The hikers had fled into minus 30-degree temperatures at night, without shoes, without coats. Some were found with crushed bones, but no external wounds. One was missing her tongue. Their skin had turned an unnatural orange color, and the Soviet government immediately classified everything. For 60 years, the truth was buried. This is the Dyatlov Pass incident, and it remains one of the most disturbing unsolved mysteries in modern history. It was January 1959. A group of 10 hikers set out from the city of Sverdlovsk in the Soviet Union, today known as Yekaterinburg in Russia. They were led by Igor Dyatlov, a 23-year-old engineering student and highly experienced hiker. The rest of the group were fellow university students and one older graduate. All of them had done difficult expeditions before. This was not their first time in the mountains. Their goal was to reach Otorten, a mountain in the northern Urals. It was a Category 3 expedition, the most difficult classification in Soviet hiking. But for this group, it was considered manageable. One member turned back early due to illness. That decision saved his life. The remaining 9 continued into the mountains on the 1st of February 1959. That was the last time anyone saw them alive. When the group failed to return on schedule, a search party was sent out. On February 26th, they found the camp on the slope of a mountain called Kholat Syakhl. In the local Mansi language, Kholat Syakhl means dead mountain. The tent was there. Most of the equipment was there. The food was there. But the tent had been sliced open from the inside, and everyone was gone. Footprints in the snow led away from the tent, downhill, toward the tree line. Investigators counted 9 sets of footprints. Some belonged to people wearing only one shoe. Some were barefoot, in the snow, at night. The first 2 bodies were found near the tree line. They were wearing only underwear, no shoes, no coats. They had died of hypothermia. 3 more bodies were found shortly after, including Igor Dyatlov himself. They appeared to have been trying to crawl back to the tent when they died. The last 4 bodies weren't found until May, buried under 4 meters of snow in a ravine. And these 4, their injuries were on a completely different level. This is where the Dyatlov Pass incident stops being a sad story about people dying in the cold and becomes something far more disturbing. The 4 bodies found in the ravine had catastrophic internal injuries. 1 had a fractured skull. 2 had severe chest fractures, broken ribs, crushed sternums. The kind of force required to cause these injuries was compared by the medical examiner to a car crash. But here is what made investigators go pale. There were no external wounds, no bruising on the skin, no cuts, no signs of a physical attack from the outside. The force had come from somewhere. It had destroyed their insides, but left their outsides completely untouched. And then there was Lyudmila Dubonina. Her tongue, eyes, and part of her lips were missing. The medical examiner suggested animals or decomposition, but other investigators weren't so sure. All of their skin and hair had turned a deep reddish-orange color, something that deeply confused the forensic team. The Soviet government labeled the cause of death as, and this is their exact phrase, an unknown compelling force. Then they classified the entire file and closed the case. For 60 years, the classified files fed some of the wildest theories in modern mystery history. Theory 1, an avalanche. The most scientifically supported theory today. Researchers believe a rare type of delayed avalanche called a slab avalanche struck the tent while the hikers were sleeping. The pressure could explain the internal injuries without external marks. The hikers cut open the tent to escape and ran downhill in a panic to get away from further slides. In 2021, a Swiss and Russian research team used computer modeling to support this theory. It is now considered the most likely explanation by most scientists, but it doesn't explain everything. The tent was pitched on a relatively gentle slope. Experienced mountaineers like Dyatlov would have known to avoid avalanche risk. And the missing tongue still has no clean explanation. Theory 2. Military testing. The Soviet Union was actively testing weapons in the Ural region at this time. Some researchers believe the group accidentally wandered into a military testing zone. The orange skin discoloration, the internal injuries without external marks, and the government's immediate classification of files all point in this direction. Witnesses in nearby villages reported seeing strange glowing orange orbs in the sky on the night of February 1st, the same night the hikers died. Theory 3. Infrasound. Some scientists have proposed that wind passing over the mountain at certain speeds can create infrasound, low-frequency sound waves below human hearing. These waves are known to cause extreme panic, paranoia, and disorientation in humans. The hikers may have been driven out of their tent by a sudden, overwhelming feeling of terror, with no rational cause. And then, there are the theories that can't be explained away so easily. The Mansi people, the indigenous inhabitants of that region, had a name for that specific mountain. Dead Mountain. They refused to go near it. And when asked why, their answer was always the same. Something lives there. In 2019, 60 years after the incident, the Russian government reopened the Dyatlov Pass case. Their official conclusion was avalanche. But investigators and the families of the victims rejected this. The Dyatlov Foundation, set up by surviving relatives, continues to push for a full, transparent investigation to this day. The pass where the incident happened was officially renamed Dyatlov Pass in honor of the group's leader. And every year, hikers still travel there. Some never come back. 9 experienced, fearless, highly trained people ran out of a tent in minus 30-degree temperatures without shoes or coats. Something scared them so badly that they chose certain death in the freezing cold over staying inside that tent for one more second. Whatever that something was, a wall of snow, a weapon, a sound, or something that has no name, it has never been identified. The mountain is still there. The pass still carries their name. And the case is still, officially, unsolved. If this story kept you up a little later than you planned, you're exactly who this channel is for. Subscribe and hit the bell, because next week we're going somewhere even darker. See you there.